Land us out there 227. Where's that airport?
227 is 1 o'clock, 3 miles.
All right, we're not gonna make that. Our engines are burning up.
I see a field and a road ahead of us. We're gonna set it down there.
Roger, 227.
Oh no, fire in the right now!
Evans, we're coming back around. Margaret, I want you to hit full power, full throttle. You understand? Here we go. Evans, speed brakes.
Speed brakes!
Flaps full.
Flaps full!
And that was a clip from Flight. We're delighted to welcome its Oscar-nominated star, Denzel Washington, to the programme. Denzel, good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon.
Can I be I suppose, the very last to congratulate you on your Oscar nomination? It must, when you're out doing these interviews, it must put a little spring in your step, I would think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a great honor, and this is the 6th time for me, but it's just like the first time, and it's like being a member of the club, you know, so they let me back in.
Yeah, it's a terrific film. Just explain your character, Denzel, and explain what happens to him, and then we can talk a bit more about that.
Well, Whitaker is a pilot with a problem. He does this really heroic thing, landing this plane and saving hundreds of lives, or almost 100 lives. But he has a dark secret, which is an abuse problem with alcohol. So it's about his struggles and ultimately his redemption. So just in a really startling kind of opening half hour, we see you, as you say, we see you waking up in a hotel room with a member of the flight crew, and there's and there's drugs and there's drink, and you're clearly in no state to do anything. And then terrifyingly, we see you get on this plane and you're piloting the plane. And then when things go wrong, you're the only calm head there. Everyone else is understandably panicking, right. And it's your genius that lands the flight. And instantly, everyone has this moral dilemma. Wow, clearly you'd fail any breathalyzer, but your genius has landed the plane. And instantly, people are up and running, aren't they, with that moral dilemma, which just runs throughout the movie. Right. Everyone is calling him a hero, and he's busy getting smashed.
Your drunk acting is what you're acting of a drunk. Well, as opposed to your drunk acting.
My drunk acting.
Your drunk acting, then. We believe instantly two things. First of all, you're stoned, and secondly, that you can land that plane.
Right.
Which is a fantastic place for a viewer to be in the first half hour. What is the thing that struck me is that you're stoned and maybe you're still drunk, but you're not staggering around the place. What was the key to working out how to play his level of intoxication?
Well, I don't know how to play drunk. I don't even know what that means. I don't think he thinks he is drunk. I think one of the issues with alcoholism or those who drink a lot is that they're in denial, number one, but they're very good at masking it, and he's very good at masking it, and he's got everybody fooled.
Presumably, the other part of that equation, Denzel, is that we believed straight away that you are a fantastic pilot.
Right.
You, John Goodman, one of your co-stars, has said that you do stacks and stacks of preparation. So when we see you sit in that cockpit for the first time, you're instantly in command, you're instantly in control. You must have done work in simulators. Tell us about the work that would have to go in for you to feel that at ease in a cockpit.
Right. Delta Airlines allowed me and the co-pilot in the film to train on their flight simulators that their pilots train on. So not that we did extensive training, but we were able to get in there and get familiar with it and get an understanding on how to take off. We didn't have to worry about landings, but how to take off, and so it helped me to feel comfortable when I got on the set. Not that I knew what every button was and which ones to push; it didn't matter. Just as long as I look like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, you do. You absolutely do. And then, this is in the trailer, so we're not giving too much away. And you've talked about it in the past. You basically have to fly the plane upside down.
Right.
Has that actually ever happened before?
Yeah. Yes, they can. You can fly a plane of that size upside down, not for long, because the oil, the fuel, and everything else rushes to it's in the wrong place. so you wouldn't last very long. But it is possible. I've been told.
Yeah. I did. A thought occurred to me while watching this, and this extraordinary maneuver which you have to pull off. That I wonder if you ever get on a plane at some stage in the future, Denzel, and the pilot welcomes you on board and is full of admiration for the film. Not that they'll be showing it as in-flight entertainment,
Right.
I would imagine, but says, you know what flying upside down is like. We could probably arrange that for you if you fancy.
No, don't want to see that. In fact, no, I don't want to see that.
No,
I don't wanna see that. I'll take his word for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or her word for
and
it.
it feels like a true story. But actually, if I'm right on this, was written years before The Miracle on the Hudson, and
That's right.
Chelsea Sullenberger landed that plane extraordinarily on the Hudson River, and he saved all the passengers on board. But this was written before that.
Yeah, about 10 or more years ago. So yeah, it had nothing to do with that incident.
But did you or the writer take anything from that incident? Because that's the kind of moment which will spring to people's minds, particularly in America, I'd have thought.
Nope, didn't think about it. Didn't look at it. It really didn't have anything to do with what my character was doing, or other than the fact that it's a miraculous landing. But that gentleman is a true hero,
yes.
and I assume doesn't have the problems that my character has. So I didn't see any advantage to looking into that.
Have pilots expressed an opinion on your flying?
Yeah, a couple of them slapped me once. No, I talked to a couple of pilots since, and that have seen the movie, and I think they understand that it's a movie. But they didn't say too much one way or the other.
You're not in because of the character that you're playing, Whitaker. You're in you're a bit of a mess. And I read an interview that you did in GQ magazine where you were asked for advice, and you said something like, just advice in general. You said, "Keep the body in tune. It's your temple." I think it's fair to say that Whitaker has forgotten this advice. Because you're slightly filled out, Denzel. Would that be fair?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's let it go. He's not going to the gym; he's going to the pub. So that was easy to do. Just milkshakes at night, hamburgers, and didn't drink though. Didn't drink at all during the film. But and letting it, for lack of a better word, all hang out.
Yeah. Which you are required to do, which you're required to do, and
yes,
yeah, and you certainly throw yourself into that.
Well, and I think that was important. I mean, it's not flattering. It's and I didn't have a real ego about it. I mean, I felt that's what the character was, and I wanted to kind of show that. He's got the girl look good. Nobody was looking at me anyway. They were all looking at the girl, and she's beautiful. And I'm just this, fat slob, drunk pilot. I
have some listeners' questions for you, Denzel, just before we finish, if that's okay.
Sure.
K.M. Warwick on this question via email. Will you ever do a West End play in London?
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, absolutely.
Rob J. Gousden asks, would you consider playing Easy Rawlins again in a sequel to my favourite Denzel film, Devil in a Blue Dress?
Oh, sure. Why not? They better hurry, though.
How long they got?
Be Easy Rollins, the grandfather. Not so Easy Rollins.
You mentioned, I think when we spoke to you a year ago for Safe House, we just mentioned briefly about you wanting to do a biopic of Thelonious Monk. Is there any update on that? Is that going to happen? What's the latest? If there is any?
There's a script out there, but it's not imminent.
And is it Two Guns with Mark Wahlberg we see you in next, Denzel? What's coming up after?
Yeah, me and Mark are running around acting stupid, and and in theory it's a comedy. We'll see. That's what's next.
And finally, once you've schlubbed out for a movie like Flight, how long does it take before you get the body back in tune and it's a temple once again?
Still a work in progress.
I saw you at the Golden Globes. You looked pretty temple-like to me.
Yeah, well, I'm big. I got the suit cut right.
Denzel Washington, a privilege to have you on the show, so thank you very much.
My pleasure.